Overnight, a formal online petition to sack Starmer exploded in popularity, is becoming increasingly popular, and is the largest of its kind. We will go over the specifics of this in today's video, along with all the most recent news from throughout the nation. However, before we do, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and become a part of our rapidly expanding community. Just a brief note to let you know that we have brand new Stuck Farmer t-shirts in stock. You can get them right now at British.com or by clicking the link in the description. At the time of recording, there were 242 signatures on an online petition for a general election started by UK resident Michael Westwood. The petition expresses frustration with the Labour government and states, "I would like there to be another general election." It has surpassed the 100,000 signature threshold needed to trigger consideration for a parliamentary debate reflecting growing dissatisfaction with the current government. "I think the present Labour government has not lived up to the promises made during the previous election campaign." This opinion has been widely expressed, especially on social media, where the petition has received a lot of attention since it was started on Wednesday. The petition gained momentum after it achieved 100,000 signatures. Over 137,000 signatures have been added after the milestone was reached at 9:19 p.m. last night, demonstrating the level of public interest at this time. Mark guarantees that the petition will be discussed in Parliament, but there is no guarantee that this will happen. According to the government's official guidance on petitions with 100,000 signatures or more are almost always discussed. However, if the topic has already been covered recently or is already on the parliamentary agenda, a petition may not be scheduled for debate. In that case, we'll keep you updated on related debates. Regardless of the outcome of the debate, the government must provide a formal response to the petition, which is required for all petitions with 10,000 or more signatures. This event comes at a time when the Labour government is facing many difficulties. Farmers in the UK are furious about a contentious decision to eliminate inheritance tax breaks for farms worth more than $3 million, which they claim threatens the survival of the agricultural industry. Along with growing criticism for his handling of internal turmoil, such as extensive rioting, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is now facing reaction from his government's decision to remove winter fuel payments and make a contentious budget statement. Recent polling data shows a dramatic drop in Labour's popularity support, which has fallen to 25%, the lowest level since the party's victory in the July general election. This represents a 9-point drop in a matter of months, placing Starmer's approval ratings among the lowest of any contemporary UK Prime Minister in their first year in office. More in Commons UK Director, Luke Trill, emphasised the notable change in public opinion. "It's remarkable that a party that won a majority less than 6 months ago is now polling at 25%. This illustrates the failures of Labour and the rise in anti-incumbency sentiment, as well as the general discontent with the current state of affairs in contemporary Britain." However, Trill also pointed out that the opposition Conservatives are not taking advantage of Labour's difficulties, as the Conservatives have not been able to significantly increase their support despite Labour's decline, leaving both major parties together only receiving 53% of the vote. This is indicative of a larger trend. The petition's quick success highlights the growing public dissatisfaction with traditional political leadership as both Labour and Conservative parties struggle with a volatile electorate that is growing more dissatisfied with the country's direction. TR explained that there is deep dissatisfaction with the status quo and that neither major party is capturing the public's confidence. This sentiment could foreshadow further political instability with the next general election still years away. I'll leave a link below. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section below. After defending the ICC, with Home Secretary Ieti Cooper sidestepping questions about whether she would support Netanyahu's arrest if he entered the UK, Boris Johnson accused Saudi Arabia's Starmer of essentially standing with Hamas by supporting the International Criminal Court's blatantly ludicrous decision to issue an arrest warrant against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In his weekly Daily Mail piece, Shadow Attorney General Emily Thornberry, who was passed over for a prominent position following Starmer's landslide victory on July 4, put pressure on the Prime Minister by asserting that the UK was now required to detain the Israeli Premier. Johnson made a huge jab at his former House of Commons sparring partner, claiming that rather than supporting Israel, the Star is actually supporting Hamas because he has acquiesced in the International Criminal Court's (ICC) demand that Israel's leaders be held accountable for war crimes. Johnson also penned all of those sincere condolence letters and pledges to support Israel. The former Prime Minister added, "We are treating them like Slobodan Milosevic and Ratko Mladic." It was all guff hypocrisy and nonsense. The ICC was created for despots like Putin or Milosevic who have little possibility of facing justice in their own nation. It is meant to supplement any possible breakdown of due process. The butchers of the Balkans. While this IC case is obviously ludicrous, Johnson's remarks follow the Prime Minister's official spokesperson's declaration that the government respected the ICC and declined to rule out arresting Netanyahu by stating in its most recent set of arrest warrants that it supports the ICC's independence. The ICC also called for former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Hamas commander Mohammed Deh, but Israel claims that Deh was killed in an airstrike earlier this year. Johnson, who claimed earlier this year that Netanyahu had bugged the restrooms on Downing Street, seemed to echo other top the Conservatives. The ICC's decision, according to Shadow Foreign Secretary Priti Patel, is extremely troubling and inflammatory and will not help secure the release of all hostages or bring much-needed aid into Gaza. Tory went on to say Robert Jenrich, the Shadow Justice Secretary, contended that the UK shouldn't implement this feral arrest order from a politically charged court that is embroiled in scandal. This most recent ruling will simply